Hey guys, thought I'd turn the camera on and in this video give you a little history lesson about Matsuyama, the little town that I'm living in. Well, I say little town that I'm living in, city of 500,000 people, capital of Ehime Prefecture on the smallest island of Shikoku. But yeah, a history lesson. One of the sort of most striking features about Matsuyama city that my friend mentioned to me earlier today, actually, my friend who's born and raised in Matsuyama but now lives in Fukuoka and was back for a visit. He sort of, when he was talking about the things that he really invested about Matsuyama, the first thing that he mentioned was the fact that you can see the castle, Matsuyama Castle, from almost anywhere in the city. It's right up on top of a hill, right in the center of Matsuyama. You've got the city center, the shopping arcades, Hokkaido and Gentengai, on one side, and you've got the university and both universities on the other side, and everything sort of just built around this castle right in the center. And there's an interesting story about how that castle got to be where it is. And back, hundreds of years ago, back in the Tokugawa era, I don't remember exactly when during the Tokugawa era it was, with the Tokugawa era spanning about 250 years from 1600 up to 1868, I believe, when the Meiji era started. But during that period, the local lord of Matsuyama, I forget his first name, but he was part of the Matsuyama clan, wanted to build a castle in the area. Now, to do that, you had to submit an application to the shogun, who ruled the country at the time, and the process basically was that you chose 3 locations for your castle: your first choice, your second choice, and your third choice. Send them off to the shogun. He'd look through your list and he'd give you the one that he felt was most appropriate for a castle to be built at. Now, this is where it gets a little bit sort of probably truth and fiction probably blended together a little bit here. But the story goes that Matsudaira, the leader of the lord of Matsuyama, was a very cunning and quite intelligent lord, and he knew that when the list that he submitted to the shogun, he would never get his number one choice. The shogun would want to keep his lords in check. He would want to make sure that nobody had too much power, but at the same time he wouldn't want to upset them too much. So in all likelihood, almost always, the shogun would grant a lord his second choice location for building a castle, in order to keep him happy but keep him under control. So what Matsudaira did was make sure that he chose his first choice as second, and put it down second on his list, and sent it off to the shogun. And sure enough, shogun grants him his second choice, and Matsudaira goes and builds it. Nobody, of course, can confirm that story now, but that's how the story does go, and it's not hard to believe, because when you look at the other two choices that he supposedly made, they certainly don't seem as strategically useful, or you could see why the location that Matsuyama Castle now stands at would be his first choice. But that wasn't quite enough for Matsudaira. Having got his first choice location for his castle, he built it up. But he decided that the river that runs through Matsuyama, from the mountains down through Matsuyama and out to the sea, it wasn't in the most strategic location for defending his castle. So what did he do? He moved the river. Didn't build bridges or any of those normal things. He just got his men together and just dug a new river, which, as you can imagine, in those days was no mean feat. So he just dug a new path to the river, got it flowing down a different way to the sea, and filled the old one in. So yeah, there's a little bit of history. I'll see if I can find a link to the Lord, some of the information, get his full name down there. I know it was part of the Matsuyama clan, but I forget exactly what his first name was. But yeah, it's a little bit of a history of Matsuyama, which I thought was quite interesting, and you might be interested to know. Right, okay, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.